Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back. I am Brian Jester, co-founder here at Occupy Fantasy, single game $1 million winner, and we're here with some NFL DFS picks and lineup advice for both FanDuel and DraftKings for tonight's Monday Night Football single game showdown slate between the Indianapolis Colts and the Baltimore Ravens. In this 10-minute video, we'll talk about lineup construction strategies for low risk and high risk contests, some roster moves that will impact your lineups, as well as general strategies to help get you to the top of your contest leaderboards. Before we get started, make sure you're subscribed to the channel to get notified when we release a new video. We're doing them basically every single day during the football season, so don't miss a video. Give us a thumbs up if you like the showdown content. It lets us know that we should continue to make more of these types of videos. Any questions you have, you can always comment below the video or hop in our Discord channel, occupyfantasy.com/discord. Click the join button right below the video. Talk to other occupyfantasy.com members and staff. So let's get started. Low risk and high risk contests, very different strategies tonight, but I think on the easier side of things, especially when you consider that's a Lamar slate, which are generally pretty difficult, but I think there's a clear edge tonight. The first thing we have to talk about are those aforementioned roster moves. So if you've been following along with the Ravens all year, you know that all their running backs got hurt in the preseason. Tyson Williams took the lead back role. They signed the 2012 All-Star team of Devonta Freeman, Latavius Murray, Le'Veon Bell. Last week, Tyson Williams was inactive. Let's scroll down here. And Tyson Williams, because of his inactive role last week, just $1,200 on DraftKings. But if you listen to Jeff Zreback, who's one of the most trusted beat reporters out there, writes for The Athletic for the Ravens, he expects that Tyson will be active tonight. In his article on The Athletic, you can go read it, he says that they gave him a week off. He was running tentatively after hurting his shoulder early in the season. Gave him a week off, replaced him with Le'Veon Bell. They expect him to be back tonight and run with Latavius Murray and likely Devonta Freeman. So Tyson Williams, again, most projection systems have him out. As of I'm recording this video Monday morning, most projection systems have him out. But if he is active, that'll change things. And because it's so close to lock, I don't think a ton of people will adjust. So Tyson Williams at $1,200 will be a great value if he's active. Be sure to monitor. The other potential additions to the Ravens roster for tonight are the two receivers. And Miles Boykin has been on IR to start the year. He's $200 minimum price. And then their rookie, Rashad Bateman, who a lot of people are excited about, he's only $200 as well. Now, it's possible neither one of these guys play, and the Ravens have to activate them from injured reserve to the active roster by 4 p.m. Eastern on Monday. So that's the deadline to look for that. If we get that, that means we have a $200 receiver who's going to play at least a handful of snaps, probably a little bit more, and that opens up a lot of things. So let's keep that in mind as we talk about low risk and high risk contests. So low risk contests. You've read our strategy guide, our captain spot showdown guide on occupyfantasy.com. You know we want two quarterbacks, two running backs in low risk contests, 50-50s, double ups, head to heads to lock up all the scoring. So tonight that's Lamar Jackson, that's Carson Wentz. Latavius Murray is still probably the lead back in getting the goal line work, which is how we lock up the scoring, $7,400. Jonathan Taylor, still splitting some reps with Nyheim Hines, Marlon Mack, an uncomfortable amount, but still the lead back here, getting the goal line work, $9,800. That leaves us $1,850 per player. On most slates, this is not enough to create a low-risk lineup. However, if Tyson Williams is active, we lock up basically all of the backfield scoring for Baltimore at $1,200. Now, $2,500 left per player. This is interesting. Nobody's in that $2,500 range. If you play one of the cheap receivers, that's $200. It leaves $2,300 left over. That's a little too much. So there are a couple ways you can go about here. You can either drop from Lamar at the captain spot and put in a next higher price guy. Let's say Latavius, right? Let's just run some options here. If we put Latavius here, now Lamar in the flex. Where did Carson Wentz go? There he is. That's $5,100. Now we can get a tight end, Ravens defense, kicker, probably a little bit higher floor. But let's keep in mind, let's watch the inactives tonight and see what transpires. The point is you're able to fit in easily two quarterbacks, two running backs, likely three running backs if you include the Ravens side. Now, if we hop over to FanDuel, we know this has been difficult lately this season in fitting them in. However, we're a little lucky tonight because if you look at it, the quarterbacks plus the two main running backs, that leaves us $6K. Normally it's $4,500. This gives us an option to play low-risk lineups tonight. We saw it on Monday night, last Thursday night, and it paid off handsomely. The Monday night previously, it paid off. So if we go down to $6K, who do we got? Prochet, Duvernay. If none of the receivers are activated, Bateman or Boykin, you could play them. Le'Veon, if he's active, you could play him. Josh Oliver, Devonta Freeman. Like, there are some options down here. It's not completely gross plays that might play one snap. We got some guys down here that can play. Miles Boykin, if he's activated, he's min-price. Unfortunately, Bateman is 6,500. But again, we have very clear low-risk plays tonight. Very, very clear strategy. And we'll outline it fully at OccupyFantasy.com in our Monday night daily plug, our Showdown daily plug. So be sure to check that out after this video. It's normally posted in the afternoon. But pretty clear high-level approach tonight. Now, if we're talking about high-risk contests, we're talking about leagues, satellites, GPPs. This is where it gets interesting because Lamar Jackson, every single time, let's put him in the captain spot. Lamar tonight, we expect to be 90 to 95% rostered in high-risk contests. 40% at the captain spot on DraftKings. 65% over on FanDuel. Insane numbers. And he's pretty likely to get there, right? So if you decide to play Lamar Jackson, along with 40% of the field, how do you get different? Well, it comes back to those pregame inactives/actives that we mentioned earlier. If Boykin, Bateman, Tyson Williams are activated on the active roster playing tonight, that opens up a lot of opportunities. Generally, when you play a Lamar captain lineup, you want to get different in a couple ways. Either it's naked Lamar, not playing him with any receivers and hope that all of his production comes to the ground. Or, more than likely, playing him with two or more pass catchers, since most people do play him with just one pass catcher because of his rushing ability. So playing him with some of these unpopular fringe players, the receivers mostly, Boykin, Bateman, Prochet, Duvernay, Sammy Watkins even, right? Some of the backup tight ends. That's the way to play Lamar if you play him. Same thing on FanDuel. And I think FanDuel, this is the approach tonight. Play Lamar in 100% of your lineups. Get different elsewhere. Leave some salary on the table. Play some of those lower-owned guys. Because you look, like Sammy Watkins is 7,500. The Colts tight ends are 7K. They can easily outscore, all the way up to the 11, 12K range. So we can leave 3, 4, 5K on the table in the largest contest to get different. And or we can play some of those cheaper guys that no one's going to play, 1, 2% roster percent. On DraftKings, though, I think the approach, as we've been talking about most of the season, is playing a little bit underdog heavy. If you run optimal lineups, close to 80% of lineups tonight that are quote-unquote optimal based on projections are Ravens heavy. A Ravens captain, at least 3 Ravens players. So if only 20% of the field is going to play a Colts captain / Colts heavy lineups, 3 Colts, that's a big edge. And it may seem crazy to think that, Lamar is not going to be the optimal captain. More Colts players than Ravens players are in the optimal lineup. It happens, especially with the pricing differences on DraftKings. And as a result, you get really different really quickly without having to do that many crazy things. So it's always an option. So guys like, if you play Carson Wentz, sub 10% a captain, pair him with 2 pass catchers, right? And again, the price differences and the salary differences makes this possible, right? Lamar Jackson is $2,400 more expensive than Wentz. You can play Lamar in the flex, and he could still be the highest score, but not be the optimal captain just based on how the scoring works out. So it may seem uncomfortable not to play Lamar, but he doesn't have to be the highest scorer. He can still be the highest scorer, and you can still win with the Colts captain. So playing Wentz with 2 pass catchers, playing Jonathan Taylor, hope he gets a couple touchdowns on the ground, playing the Indy pass catchers. Michael Pittman has been an underperforming wide receiver for the last couple of weeks, still is tonight. Had 2 end zone targets last week, couldn't convert. He's still there. Pascal has been getting targets in the passing game. Both Colts tight ends, specifically Mo Alley Cox, our model likes him a lot tonight. He got more routes and more opportunities last week specifically. Nyheim Hines, if this is a trailing game script at 5,600. So lots of ways to play it. And I think on DraftKings, playing a Colts captain or playing 3 Colts in the lineup is the way to go, and most of the field won't do that. Now, again, this is much different on FanDuel, where you have to be the highest scorer, and Lamar Jackson makes a ton of sense at the MVP spot. So I know that's a lot, but if you go follow our daily plug at OccupyFantasy.com, which again is posted in the afternoons by 3 or 4 p.m. Eastern, that'll outline all the lineup strategies for different contest types. Low-risk contests, small field, large field, our specific and general strategies for those contest types. Really nails down all the data you need. Make sure you subscribe to the channel before we get out of here. Get notified whenever we go live, upload any new videos. Give us a thumbs up if you like the content. Any questions, comment below. We'll happily get back to you. But for quicker answers and more in-depth answers, join our Discord. click the join button below the video, occupyfantasy.com/discord. We can talk to you all day. So, Brian Jester for Occupy Fantasy. Appreciate everyone listening, and good luck tonight.